Hey there, this is Sean Donahoe and welcome. We've got some great stuff here for you today. In just a few moments, I'm going to share some very powerful link building and search engine domination strategies that we use in our business, and we use these techniques to literally dominate for any keyword that we decide to go after. I'm going to give you those techniques in a few moments. Now, before we start, you'll see right below me here a download link for the quick strike guide that we've put together. This is a very powerful guide that's going to show you how to build top links so that you can dominate the search engines, build massive links with huge authority, and give the search engines exactly what they want and what they love. There's been a lot of changes in the search engines over the last 12 months, and primarily Google has thrown absolutely everything it can at marketers with pandas, penguins, hummingbirds, and every other kind of creature in the Google zoo. So this guide specifically talks about giving Google and the other search engines what they want, building massive authority and dominating the search engines. But in these videos, we're going to build on this with some even greater techniques. And this is all free. You can download that guide. There's no cost involved. All of these videos that you're going to see, there's going to be 3 videos in this series, and you are going to have access to each one of those. Now, this is all very powerful stuff. So let's just dive right into the meat and potatoes, all the really great content we have for you, and get rocking. So as you may or may not know, there has been a lot of changes in the search engines over the last 12 months, and especially with everyone's favorite, Google. They have the lion's share of the search engine results page, or the SERPs. And they have been applying a lot of changes in regards to penguin, panda, hummingbird, and these are focused on user experience and the value of each search engine result presented to the end user. And one thing they've really been stressing, they've always been focused on this, but they've really applied a lot of different elements of their new algorithms to really address things like the value of the links returned, the quality of their overall index, and user experience. Everything has been focused on improving in all of these areas, and they're targeting things like the links that you have going back to your website, whether they're good quality, relevant links, or if you've got millions of spammy, crappy links, then you've been hurt. If you've got duplicate content or very low quality, poor content, you've been hurt. If your overall setup of your page is not providing real value in terms of the content, even if it's unique content, if it's not providing real value to the user, then you've probably been hurt by a lot of these changes. Well, we're going to turn that around in this video series. We're going to look at different things that need to be done and that you can do in combination with everything else that we've talked about in the quick strike guide. We're going to take all of that, mix it all up, throw out the rubbish that is out there and that lots of people have been hearing about over the last 12 months. We're going to get tactical. We're going to get strategic here. We're going to literally launch an operation for you to dominate the search engines for any market that you choose to go into. Now, we're going to pick our targets. We're going to do everything that we need to do to get you to the top of the search engines. I'm going to share the strategies and tactics that are incredibly vital to securing all of that free traffic. And you're going to be able to do it. I have been all over the world teaching SEO experts to be SEO experts. I have been doing this for so many years, and I literally dominate the search engines for any term I go after because I apply these strategic elements that I'm going to share with you in this video guide. So, one thing that a lot of people have been talking about is because of all these changes in the search engines, people have been saying, oh, to heck with SEO, it doesn't work. It's because what used to work doesn't work anymore. The game has changed. But here's the beautiful thing. With everyone who's saying it doesn't work anymore and is given up, that leaves an opportunity for smart marketers just like you who have a tactical advantage. And if you have and apply the right strategies in the right way, you can also dominate the search engines. Now, most people try and go, for example, they say, oh, I just want one page to rank. Now, remember, in Google, there's 10 SERPs. Now, I'm not trying to be a good artist here, but there's 10 results, okay? I'll just throw an extra one in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And everyone wants the coveted number one spot. That gets most of the traffic. Let's just keep it simple numbers. The top 3 get almost all of the traffic. And there's all sorts of different metrics about this, but let's just keep it simple. Let's just say that 25 for the number 2 spot, 10% for the number 3 spot. That gives us 70, 85%, and then everything else is about 15%. Let's just keep it simple. You can see you really want to be in the number 3 spot. Now, most people try and rank one page. And their idea is they'll take one page targeting one keyword and try and get to number 1. Well, I've got a different strategy that I like to apply. And this is what you'll see in the Quick Strike Guide. I like to try and get at least 4 to 5 different properties ranking, because if I only get 1, that means I've got 9 other competitors on that page. However, if I have 4 to 5 ranking on the first page, even if it's not from my main website, I won't go into the exact strategy that we talk about in the Quick Strike Guide, but I try and dominate for all of those different terms and literally take over the first page. Because if I've got 4 or 5, I've got literally over half of the page owned by me, exposing people to the links, to the sites, to the properties that I want. And I push my competitors off that first page. So even if I don't get that number 1 spot, I'm still getting significant amounts of traffic and exposure and everything else. And I use that exposure and traffic to leverage leverage whatever I want to promote or whatever call to action I want the user to take, whether it be lead building, list generation, affiliate profits, maybe selling Amazon products, whatever I want to do, selling my own products. It all works the very, very same way. And this is a very, very powerful strategy. So, with that being said, Google has changed a significant amount of things. But one thing is still very much as applicable today as it was a year ago and 3 years ago and 5 years ago. Backlinks are still vital to success. They are like a popularity contest. They are a vote for you saying this website is relevant to this particular keyword and should get attention. Now, in a popularity contest, one of the things that used to be the case was that the more votes you got, the better, and it didn't really matter who voted. Well, it's kind of changed now. Now there's a kind of a quality process as to, well, your vote is better than this other person's vote. So, for example, the old days, you could get backlinks from anywhere, and as long as it had your anchor text, which is the text that appears in the link, then, okay, you're fine. You're getting more and more links, and you're all good. Well, the thing is, Google started realizing that so many people were gaming that system, they quickly identified how to change the way that people linked and looked at their sites, and they had what's called a link profile analysis. And this basically said that, hey, if I've got a site, and I'll just take this as a site, and it's got thousands of links, let's say it's got 10,000 links, each one with the keyword, say, puppy trading. And each one of them was a do follow link, which is just a way of meaning it's passing link juice. If I've got all of these links, I've got 10,000 of them, all do follow, and they're all linking to this one site, that's unnatural. And that was what was hurting a lot of people, because they had bought all this crazy software, or they're listening to people saying, you could build XXXX number of links, it's all good, and you can buy this expensive software that's going to do it all for you, bum, 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 and then suddenly what happens? You get the big slap. Your site gets de-indexed and everything went away because it was unnatural. Unnatural doesn't work anymore, and it never really worked to start with. It was a time bomb waiting to happen. So one thing that Google did very, very quickly was decide, okay, it's quality, not quantity. Quality links means they have relevance, they have authority. In other words, they have an established following, they have an established track record, they're a quality site, that you have also diversity. These are the three core things that Google's looking for. So, for example, if you decided you were going to get thousands of blog comments to your site and very little else, that's unnatural. A few blog comments is fine. A few forum profiles is fine. A few wiki links is fine. A few edu links or government links from authority sites is fine. It's all about creating a natural link profile. But here's the cool thing. If you find high quality sites, a high quality site is worth infinitely more than a low quality site. So one good link from one good place can actually help you literally jump to the top of the search engines. 10 good links from 10 authority places is even better. So that's what we're focusing on here, is creating a high profile, high quality link profile for your website that looks natural. Now, we mentioned no follow links and do follow links just now, but I want to dive into that just a little bit as well as more about diversity. So we talked, okay, you can have different links from different places, and that kind of looks a lot more natural, but it's also the way you structure your links. For example, if I talk about diversity of link anchor texts, that means things like, okay, say for example I was targeting puppy training. Okay, that was my keyword. If all of my links said puppy training, that's unnatural. But if I mixed it up with some alternates, for example, training puppies, and many other phrases like that, and I've got maybe 4 or 5, that's a little more natural. But you can't just go with keywords. You also have to have what's called naked links. And that has nothing to do with clothing. It just means that you have your actual website in there. So if my website was puppy.com or puppytraining.com, that's a naked link. So that would appear as the clickable text in a link. And you also have generics, such as click here or learn more. Again, this is creating more natural link profiles, more natural links out, and that is very, very important for SEO. Now, we've talked about quality, we've talked about diversity, we've talked about authority and relevance being that you're not going to link to a puppy training site from a Viagra site or any of these other low quality frameworks. You want something that is going to be relevant to your industry. If I got a link from to a puppy training site from a site that's talking about dogs, that's relevant. If it's talking about skincare, that's not relevant. That relevancy is very, very important, and the more relevant, the better. The more authority it has, the better. The more diverse your links, the better. Now, we're talking about covert links here, but we need to talk about protection as well. Because one of the things that happens a lot is people hammer the heck out of their main domains. They will literally hammer all sorts of links and literally cause themselves a potential nightmare by leaving their main money sites exposed. We don't want to do that. We want to protect our nest here. We want to make sure that our home base is secure. So one thing we like to do is stack links. Now what we do here is, if this is our main money site, we would like to create a layer or a shield of links that we act as users, basically barriers. Now, by doing this, anything you do below this shield is somewhat protected by this first level of links. And we want to make these as high authority and as powerful as possible. So if I created a link on, say, a blog, and say it's a WordPress blog, and it has links back to my money site and my pages, that's fine. That's great. This may have authority. Maybe I found a great place to place a blog comment. And I found a good article, and I've left a relevant, intelligent comment on the post. I see so many people throwing up spammy-looking comments all over the place, and they're horrible. And I'm just going to make a comment on blog commenting. Blog commenting still works very well. As long as you read the article or the blog post, you respond to it, ask a question, a follow-up question, but then include your link in your signature as well and what have you, and that's fine. But as long as you are asking intelligent questions, you read the post and leave a good comment, you can actually still do very, very well with blog comments. Don't go crazy and try and create thousands of them. It just doesn't really work that well anymore. It's much better to have a few high quality ones than anything else. So that's an example of one type of link you could do. You could also create forum profiles. Go join forums in your market where your target market actually is. Then create a forum signature. That's fine. Those act again as links that have authority. Search engines love forums. And again, those links are now placed in front of your direct target market, as well as being indexed by the search engines, and again, act as a barrier. You can also create articles on article directories. You can create your own blogs. Again, each one of these creates a layer between the rest of the world and your money site. These are your first levels. So there's a couple of examples, and then you could do something like, I'll just call them EGs, which is EDUs and government links, and then maybe even wiki links. These are just different examples. But again, diversity here, you can see we're using many, many different examples here, but each one of them has links back to our money site. We are now building a layered approach to link building. And we cover some of the how to get these types of links in the quick strike guide. But that is important. It's all about stacking. Now, when we talk about stacking, we are protecting our money site, because anything we do below this level, we are also creating a shield. And that shield protects our main money site from anything that's going on below it. So if I'm deciding to do a high velocity, as I would call it, link blast towards this WordPress site, this filters out all of that link juice and passes it up to our main money site. So if I've got dozens and dozens and dozens, or even hundreds of links over here going to this site, it protects it. This is the site that may have a ranking issue, not our money site. If we took all of those and did that up here and straight to our money site, that would be a problem. We wouldn't want to do that. That would be bad. So we can actually protect ourselves. Now, what I might do, and a strategy I've used in the past, is I will create multiple of each one. Some of them I won't hammer, Some of them I will, but they all act as barriers. And I can then, again, build up that high authority link juice all the way down the line. But again, we're talking diversity here. We're talking natural link profiles. And I've heard people still talk about a thing called link wheels, which I'm going to say actively avoid where possible, because again, anything that has real predictable structure can be analyzed by the search engines. It's just that simple. And the old way was that people would create multiple blogs or posts, and then post A would link to post B would link to C, and so on and so forth. And what would happen is they would all link to each other, and then each one of them would link to your money site. Well, that's a fairly easy thing for search engines to figure out. So we ended up creating broken wheels, where there was no complete circuit, so to speak, of everything. And that worked very well and still does, because it's more natural. The more natural you make things, the more credit you're going to get for all of your actions. You don't have to go crazy. It's all about creating a level of randomness and a level of layered stacks. So where I'm talking about, for example, if I have a money site, and this is my affiliate marketing site, this is my niche site, I've got all sorts of great stuff going on here. My first priority for anything, even if I've got my pages here, and in the next video we're going to talk about content structure, which is very, very important to ranking in the search engines. We want to make sure that each page has its own protective layers of primary links. So we want to make sure that every page we put out there has a level of security by putting this little barriers in place of our first level links. Now, again, I'm stacking them out here. You can see what I'm doing here. I'm just assuming there's like 2 links, 2 primary links. Obviously, you would probably have more, but you can see how that grows over a period of time to create almost like a tree and a stack coming out like branches. It's very, very important that you do that. Now, when you look at the Quick Strike Guide, you're going to see all sorts of strategies for actually creating the actual physical links. What we're talking about here is the strategic side of that, the covert way to literally infiltrate the search engines and work within their boundaries and their foundations with links they actually like and love and reward. Now, one thing that a lot of people used to be very much against, and I will be quite honest, I was one of them, was I didn't like Google snooping at what I did behind the scenes. But it's all about trust now. So one thing that I recommend is you install things like the Google Webmaster Tools, you install analytics, because here's the thing. If you've got nothing to hide, they give you trust. So installing Google Webmaster Tools is great. Installing analytics is great. If you have built links in the past that you think may be bad, you can also use their disavow tool, or DAT for short. Now this allows you to submit links that you don't want credit for. So if you've got links from a site that you think is not relevant and may be harming you, guess what? No problem. You can just tell Google, I don't want to count that one as a valid link of mine. And they will then discount it. So that's very, very powerful if you approach it in that way. Google will actually tell you what you actually need to do to clean up your website, clean up all of the problems that you may be having. It'll tell you whether it sees that you've got an unnatural link profile or not. And you can use other tools to determine whether your link profile is good or not. There's quite a few on there. If you look, link profile checkers and things like that on Google, you'll actually find quite a few different ones. But that being said, you've got a lot of stuff that you can do to literally make sure that you are fully optimized, your links are good, that you can remove any bad links from your tactical assault on the search engines. And when you combine what we've talked about here with the techniques that we talk about in the Quick Strike Guide, you'll start seeing all of the possibilities for literally taking over the first page of Google. Now, with that being said, in the next video, we're going to talk about content structure. We're going to show you how you can literally trim things up to give Google even more value and quality and literally shoot past your competitors with everything you do. We're also going to talk a little bit about conversions and many other areas that you can tweak within your website to make sure that every link you build is going to a place that's going to maximize your rankings, your sales and conversions, and ultimately all of your profits as well. So that's going to be in the next video. We're going to release that in the next few days. But between now and then, I want you to check out and study that Quick Strike Guide, because there's some great information in there on how to start creating those powerful links, and keep everything we've talked about in this video in mind as you move forward. So until the next video, in the next few days, keep an eye on your email for a notice about that video coming up, and we'll rock and roll and meet again then. Until then, take care.